It's a Sunday, and what the hell am I doing here? Got my Sunday clothes on, and I'm taking a chisel to my finish that I did on Friday. And I thought I left the shop, and I thought it was amazing. All right, so let's go back a couple days ago, and I was getting it ready. I prepped, I sanded. You can see I was using the block. And I was going to do it like all my other jobs, that I've done God knows how many times. And I sprayed, looks great. I didn't go too crazy there. And then even the next day, it looked good. I seemed to be on the right path. But then, as always, or as you get a little impatient, and then I went the next day and I gave coat every hour, about 4 coats in the same amount of time, and that's where my trouble started. What happened? So here I am. It's my fault. I'm not gonna dwell on it. I'm trying to do it now because it's nice and soft, and I can really get at it. A lot of times with these grooves or these panels, you can have like hairline gaps. Like I'm trying to get the finish so perfect, but I'm sometimes trying to be too perfect. And I'm trying to get all that grain filled, get that depth of that mahogany, and create everything that looks like one piece. So you can have like, 32nd, even a small 64th. And, you're putting very little clear coat on. You're not like baking, little layers. And sometimes just telegraphs and follows, if that makes sense. So you sand, you add, you sand, you add. This case, I figured I could maybe skip a few steps. And it looked good when it was wet, eh? And I put extra coats on the panel, which was not the smartest thing I've done. But I did this once before. I did too many, and I had to redo it. And this is what can happen with 2K or any other finish, really. It doesn't matter what you're using. Don't, go thinner. Wait for the drying. If you're in the southern states, one advantage that you do have is that heat. God, that heat is, you can create your own oven in the back and speed things up. Sometimes with us, we don't have that heat. We're actually heating all the time, and it can be damp, and sometimes things aren't properly dry. What I'm trying to say in a roundabout way is I was totally wrong on this. Like I should know better. I mean, come on. But what it was that I said, okay, I want to get out of here in 2 weeks. I'm giving myself 2 weeks to finish all this stuff and get the hell out of here. And usually I have my partner help me, but she's gone, and oh God, do I miss her. And the spray, she helps so much with the finishing. You have no idea. All the doors and everything over there are a direct result for her just painstakingly standing in between. But that's like an excuse. That's like I'm looking, oh, okay, I did that. Anyways, if you're spraying for the first time and you're starting to use catalysts and things like that, just be careful. Go thin. I should have had mine maybe the volume turned down a little more. I should have just gave a light coat, walked away, let it harden. See, if I had that barrier coat at first, I was right on top of the oil, and it just the oils and all the clear coat just created a reaction. After that, I'm glad I'm doing it this way, because I thought I was gonna take it on the CNC and just plane it, but then you have marks and you got to sand, and it's oh man, I'd be there forever. It would have been long. This I'm happy with. I still got all my gaps filled, like I'm taking now, and I'll 320, and I'll just put a little bit of stain over it, and I'm gonna put a little red tint in it, and with the panels. I want to get this vibrant. This I'm in love with. So that's it. Live and learn. You learn from your mistakes. All right. The other thing was when I had the panel, in the back here, I'm going to do it a different way the other time. I'm going to put a foam here and keep the panel down. I put the wood and I kind of screwed it and I want it tight. I'm going to leave it a little more floating so that there won't be any issues with these doors over the years. And that's it. Don't do what I do. Do as So I'm have it all stripped off the finish, and then I'm just putting a little base coat on it. And I'm thinking, okay, I did a little bit of stain, and now I'm going to darken the mahogany a little bit, and I'm going there with my applicator. Okay, thinking I got the cat's meow here. I'm starting to realize real quick, maybe I wasn't doing the right thing. You could see it like the next day after it dried. Just looks like total crap. You could see some of like the old finish kind of left behind because I didn't really spend the time to sand. And then, you have light and dark, you're not having an even color. And then anyways, I think I slept on that and I went, holy crap, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? Enough for now already. So after all that shellac, like I built it up too much. I wasn't happy with it. I was using stain and I was killing the wood, and I spent a huge amount of time making this. And anyways, I said, you know what, this is it. So I'm just taking 80s. I got them here. They're getting clogged up, and taking this down. So I'm just using a soft pad. I'm just using an 80. It's clogging up like nobody's business because the stuff still, when you go below the layers, like really cakes. So I take it almost down to the wood, and then I just let the air get at it and dry. There's no other way to do this. My planer wasn't big enough to handle over 20 inches. And then I got my orbital, but now I got a hard pad. It's the next day, everything's bone dry. Now I'm able to sand. I still got the 80 on there, and I'm just taking out all residue. And it takes a bit of time. It wasn't 10 minutes here. So I was able to, get a better sanding job on the maple, because when I first did it, I saw with the darker stain, I had a lot of defects in the maple. I didn't sand properly, and then with darker color of maple, it can be so unforgiving, and you see every little defect. It wasn't bad, but now at least I'm down to the wood. I'm staining here. I'm using my mixture, same mixture that I used. I'm just rubbing it in. Just back and forth. I'm not really wiping it dry with that. I'm just letting it soak in, because there's like a lot of lacquer thinners in there, and it just kind of like flashes off. So just make sure it's not streaky. And but now one thing that surprised me when they sanded there, I have all my grain filled and all my little gaps and everything else filled, which at least that was such a bonus. Now, putting like tung oil, I'm just rubbing it in. You could see right away, it just makes the wood pop a bit, and that's what I'm kind of after. So, and just not too much, and just rubbing it in. You could tell like after it doesn't drink, but it's the next day after the stain, not the same day. So, I'm learning my lesson to wait a little longer, not try to rush things through, and just keep going. And here I'm just kind of like going in a circle. All right. So now after that, I'm getting ready for the shellac. I know a couple of years ago they had the de-wax shellac, but now they have like a sanding seal. I can't seem to find it. And what this does, and then when I did with the oil, it adds a barrier with the 2K urethane, because over the years, mahogany ages, can really have a lot of oils that come up, and that acts as a nice barrier. I'm just going in a circle. I'm putting very little, like I mean, literally just enough it flashes off. You can do a finish like this, and it can look like sprayed with a little bit of practice. It's, and if you put an oil or something on top of that, that'd be, you'd have a really nice finish. You don't have to go like, industrial like when I'm going. The next day, or it was actually 2 days later, I wait till everything was bone dry, and I'm just giving a light sanding because all the dirt comes to the surface, like all the leftover dust from the sanding. That's what you feel the next day. People think it's, it's not really raised grain. And we have a blower, and you set up your shop and get it finishing, get air. It's the only real way to keep everything really clean. Now, this is my first coat. I'm going very easy. And another thing with your gun, watch my hand. I don't flick it. I try to keep it straight. I'm there about maybe, about 10 inches up, 8 or 10. It's more like a feel for me. And, I'm crisscrossing, just going back and forth. This is real time. I'm not speeding it up. So, of course, I got to do the third coat, but that's only because I don't like how level how it's not really level. It's a little blotchy when I went there the second time, first coat. So, by rights, I should have just done 2, but hey, I do like to charge from time to time. So, same thing. Do not flick the wrists. Watch how the hand goes back and forth. It's so important when you spray. This way, it's simple rocket science. You'll have an even coat, but if you flick your wrist, one part's going to have more clear coat than the other. Now, the next day, I think I'm up to about a couple of coats here, and it's really looking good. I got the maple darker, what I wanted, and I'm sanding here with the block, and, you could see I'm hitting everything. I don't really have little spots. You would see shiny. So I'm just spinning it around because you tend to sand more at the front than you do at the back if you don't spin around. So, and at this point, I'm very, very happy with my build. I got it. I didn't cut corners or try to speed things too much, and I waited. I'm waiting like a day, 2 days for things to dry, and just working on other things while it dries. So, yeah, did I learn my lesson? Yeah, but that's only really happened to me 3 times. So it's very rare that something like that would ever happen. And same thing. Now this is getting near the final coat. Because I'm going to I want to get about 4, and then I just want to let it dry for a week just before I go back to the house and start working on the house and get it ready for the cabinets. And it made it a lot easier doing these panels out of the door. I didn't have to lug that heavy door around, It weighed a ton with those panels in it, and I got a much better finish, And then the panels are going to be movable in the door, so years down the road, if they have to, you want to touch it up or you want to redo the door, it's not going to be a total nightmare, with complex panels. So we'll be able to pop them out, and it will take no time. And that's it. It's really coming out great at this point. And I'm not. Before, you could see I put it on the cart. Now I'm just spraying one by one. I don't want any dust. And then that's the real enemy at this point. That first 20 minutes after you spray, the dust. Okay, so it's almost dry. It might not look like it. And you could see that I'm a little, like with the maple, it's a little red and looks a little stark. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is add a little of this. Okay, so I'm bringing it out here with the other doors in the kitchen. Even though it's going to be an open concept and the kitchen will be at the end, this will be at the front of the house. But I just want to show you the tones, or just make sense what I was trying to do. Now, here was a door that I kept showing, and everything else. Pretty decent there with that tone. This one's a little darker. You can see right here with the maple. I'm okay with that. What I've done is I've toned it down a lot more. Before it was just kind of like, wow, you just see the panel and you didn't see the rest of the detail of the unit. Plus, if you're watching TV, I felt, even though in low light, you know, I want this thing to kind of disappear and just be dark and you're focused on the TV. One thing that I not learned, but that's the wrong word, is that finishing, it takes a long time to get it like this filled. And if you look sideways, you don't see any pot. So don't take it for granted. Give the time. I totally screwed up. I shouldn't have rushed it as much. I want to get the beam in. And once I leave here, because warm weather's coming here now, and I don't want to be, I gotta get that house closed up and have this all ready. So, my advice, take your time with the finishes, let it dry, like here it is, here's another one, right? Put it side by side with the mahogany. See, the mahogany, I really captured that. I was like very, very happy. And this, I'm gonna sand a little harder. It's gonna get 4 more coats. So, thank you all. I made the magic 1,000 subscribers. We're gonna try to spend a little more time. We're getting paid now. I think I made 42 cents. I'll try to spend more time. I'll try not to be long-winded, but I am gonna take a subject, try to analyze it. This is the best 15 minutes we went through from beginning to end. It gives you a little bit of a crash course if you're new to finishing, or if you want to go to another level in finishing, you can kind of look and say, okay, this is what I'm trying to achieve. And the end game for me at the end of this is having passion with my wood. I want the wood alive. Yes, I tinted this for to hide that, but I want this wood alive. Like if you look here, it's different. It looks like a different color. When you move and you walk, you see it like it's alive. And it's a cool effect when you do it. If I was to polish this and have high gloss, excuse me, it would be amazing. A little bit too much dust. But you see there how it looks dark on your camera? But as soon as I put a little more light into it, it's like a totally different effect. That's the end game. I think DIYers or home buyers or guys that are gonna flip, or you're gonna, you know, make your own house, stay unique. Don't go out and say, well, I found a new shade of white or blue or something like that. What I'm trying to say is woodworking is like the only trade, in my opinion, that's an art form. And there's a lot of different ways of doing it, and that's the beauty of it. So take what you will from it. But remember, it's a long path to get up there. And please subscribe, come back again. I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. 1,000 subscribers, thank you. This was it before it all started. And you know, you can make your own take on that. Thanks for watching. Last thing I'll say about epoxy resin, you've seen a lot of that, and why cabinet makers hate it. It's because stuff can go wrong, but I love the live edges. I love the wood. I love how they've taken expensive wood and introducing it to the masses and making it more popular. So thank you, live edge people.